Antman and the Wasp QUANTUMANIA is now playing in theaters, and not only does the film begin Phase 5 of the MCU, it sets the tone and direction for the entirety of this franchise surrounding Kang the Conqueror. In this video, I will be breaking down and explaining the ending and the two post-credit scenes. Not only how they're set up and paid off in the ending of the film, but how they tease the future direction of the MCU through this phase, which means we will talk all the spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp QUANTUMANIA, so I hope you've seen the movie by the time you're clicking on this video, or you don't care about spoilers. Either way, join the conversation in the comments below with anything I might have missed, where do you think the MCU is going next, and how did you enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp QUANTUMANIA. So starting with the ending, Kang the Conqueror gets defeated, in a sense, by Ant-Man and the Wasp themselves before they get trapped in the quantum realm for about 5 seconds. But he is not defeated in conventional ways, how we've seen other one-time MCU villains meeting their ends. He is absorbed into his multiversal energy core. It's exactly what he has been chasing through this film and what allows him access to go around the multiverse and conquering/destroying timelines. And as Kang explains in this film, time is not linear to him. He doesn't experience time the way us mere mortals do. This perspective Kang has on time is a very Doctor Who-y concept that is very hard to explain, so I'm going to let the Doctor himself explain it.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
This is set up all through the film, and we also know Kang means to conquer and destroy timelines with this multiversal energy core because he knows something worse is coming. It's why he was exiled in the first place by them, and we will meet whoever them are in the first post-credit scene, but it's also what leaves Scott with this lingering existential crisis after getting rid of Kang. There's this ominous sense of maybe Kang was right, maybe he was warning us about something. And that is all that relates to the proper ending of Ant-Man and the Wasp QUANTUMANIA. But once we get to the first post-credit scene, we see three figures overlooking the multiverse and all its different timelines. Much like He Who Remains' Citadel overlooked the sacred timeline in the Loki Season 1 finale before Sylvie killed him and it broke out into the multiverse. These three figures are Immortus, Ramatut, and Iron Lad. Iron Lad in the comics, his real name is Nathaniel Richards, a future relative of Reed Richards himself from the Fantastic Four. And the future is when Kang is really from in the comics. And we'll talk more about the Nathaniel Richards version of the character and variants of him further along in this video. These are all Kang variants, three of the most famous / most powerful versions of Kang, and clearly they rule above many others because now they understand that the one who was exiled has been defeated, and now the Avengers in the sacred timeline are aware of Kang's existence. So now they are in danger and they are planning a multiversal uprising, which is exactly what He Who Remains in Loki Season 1 finale warned Loki and Sylvie about. And from then, we see these three Kang variants discussing what must be done and learn that all the Kang variants across the multiverse have been called, and we see a massive coliseum filled with several Kang variants in a shot very similar to a very famous panel in the comics. I believe we even see a scroll amidst Kang variants, which is really interesting. So this is now our new threat. Throughout Phase 5, maybe even Phase 6 of the MCU, we will see some of these Kangs spread throughout Marvel movies and representing new threats, because while we met He Who Remains as a benevolent version of Kang, we met a ruthless, malevolent version in Ant-Man and the Wasp, And these three new guys and the millions of other Kangs we see in this post-credit scene, they don't seem too friendly either. And so, above anything else in the actual movie, this first post-credit scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp QUANTUMANIA actually gives us a sense of direction in Phase 5, and it seems like it's bringing a lot of pieces together where we don't really understand the purpose, we don't really understand the goals of these Kangs, but it's playing out like this overarching mystery of why we have to stop them, why they're so dangerous. But again, the most exciting piece of post-credit scenes in a while is the second post-credit scene. And we find ourselves in an early 1900s town. We know this is a setting because of the sepia tone, the puffy mustaches, the puffy dresses, canes, top hats, and we see a stage with a somewhat advanced, at least for the time, technological contraption being presented by a man named Victor Timely, who turns out is a brand new version of Kang. In the comics, Victor Timely is an older version of Nathaniel Richards, Iron Lad, who after being defeated by the Avengers seeks refuge and solace in the early 1900s. And the contraption being presented on stage by Victor Timely is very interesting because it could be an early version of Kang's time chair that he aims to rebuild while he's trapped in the early 1900s. And if anyone could build such a machine with 1900s technology, is Kang the Conqueror himself, who has knowledge and technological prowess from the far future. In the comics, Victor Timely, Kang the Conqueror, or whatever you want to call him, he is from the 41st century. This could even be an early version of Damocles, which is in the comics is his ship with which he travels throughout time. And he could use it to travel the multiverse in the MCU. And this is how we connect to the ending of the film, where Kang seems to have been spread through the entire timeline, not living time in a linear fashion. He is everywhere at all times, all through the timelines, which in turn is what gives birth to the Council of Kangs and to that origin story He Who Remains told Loki, Sylvie, and us about in the Loki Season 1 finale. And speaking of Loki, Loki and Mobius are in the audience, and Tom Hiddleston completely sells the dread and desperation at seeing this man on stage, while Mobius is completely oblivious. He literally says, this dude doesn't even look terrifying, but Loki knows what is actually going on, and it all comes back around. Time is weird, time is messy, time is convoluted. Loki caused it, Sylvie caused it, and Ant-Man caused it. Kang is here because of everything that has been done to him, despite him trying to stop whatever is coming from happening. This left me jaw-dropped. This left me so happy because I love Loki Season 1. And I love what they're doing with Kang the Conqueror as a being, as a menace spread all through time. As a big Doctor Who fan, this is very exciting. And I also love time travel in general, so them fully embracing the weirdness and wackiness of it, it's awesome. Now, it is my theory this last post-credit scene is in the vein of older MCU post-credit scenes where they're actually just sequences from a film that they insert in the previous movie. In this case, it's from an upcoming season of TV, but it's the strongest connection so far we've had between the MCU movies and the MCU TV shows. Not only it shows us that this phase is very strongly connected in terms of plot and story direction, but it also embraces that connection for people who maybe are not aware of it or haven't seen the movies really acknowledge what is going on in TV. So it leaves me really happy personally. But that does it for the explained video on the ending and the two post-credit scenes of Ant-Man and the Wasp QUANTUMANIA, leaving us with Kang Will Return, which we haven't seen since Thanos in Infinity War, I believe. So it means this film is really important for the entirety of Phase 5, for the entirety of the MCU going forward, and it really makes Kang a main event player. It makes Kang the standout in someone else's movie. That maybe isn't fair for Ant-Man, but it is a really bold move on their part. And that does it for my explanation on Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the ending and the post-credit scenes. If you want to learn my actual thoughts on the film, they're right up here. You can check them out right there. And I'll be back very soon with more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, to like the video, to comment down there if you enjoyed it and want to see more videos like this. And big shout out to my channel members for always supporting the channel. And I'll be back very soon. So until the next one, love each other. I love the movies.